How are you guys doing today? Today I'm going to talk about the second part of American Express dropping my credit limit $24,000. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector, a subsidiary of Clear and Strategic. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from management to owning 2 debt collection companies. Over the last 10 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit. Now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. So later today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will go live. When I'm going live, I will answer questions about credit and debt. Anything that you guys have with regards to that or life or anything along those lines, be sure to join me at that time span to be a part of that, and I'll answer questions, credit and debt, and whatever else you guys may want to ask me. So stay tuned for that. Now, in this credit journey, as far as I was building credit, as a lot of you guys know, I have probably 13 credit cards. I have over $250,000 worth of available credit, and obviously, with regards to this situation, I lost $24,000 worth of available credit with American Express. I love American Express. That information is not going to change. They're the people who I started with who actually helped me scale it. Now, to give you context with regards to how many American Express credit cards that I have, I want to let you know now. So I have a total of 8 credit cards through them. So we got these 1, 2, 3. So I have a total of 8 credit cards. I started out with 2 credit cards, which are actually not directly through American Express. It was done through my actual bank, these 2 credit cards. I have 1 personal credit card that I have, which is one of the accounts that they dropped the limit on. And then I have, or 2 actually, 2 personal accounts. I'm sorry. 2 personal accounts. I have the American Blue, as well as I have the Platinum personal American Express card, as well as I have 1, 2, 3, 4 business accounts with them. I have the American Express Platinum Business, the Plus, the Cash Rewards, and then I have the Marriott Bonvit credit card with them. Also, I have a line of business credit through American Express, which I just found out yesterday that they dropped a small amount of that line of credit from them. But that's why I always talk great about American Express and so forth with regards to everything that's happening. So let's get into what actually happened. So I had to make a call. As you guys know, when you're calling a credit card company, what ends up happening? You're placed on hold, and depending on the time of the day that you actually call, you can be on hold for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes before you actually get someone on the phone. So for those of you who have the American Express Platinum card, for having that card, you can actually get a person on the phone within 30 seconds to a minute of that time. And so that's one of the tricks that I do when I'm calling with regards to any of my personal American Express cards or the business American Express cards. I actually have 2 platinum cards. I will be giving you a story with regards to one of those platinum cards, but nevertheless, when you call that 800 number on the back of the platinum card, you give the account number, you can get a person on the phone very quick, and then you can ask questions about all your accounts. So for those of you who have multiple accounts and so forth. So basically, I get someone on the phone, and as I get the guy on the phone, first of all, I talk about the account that I have my son on, my 14-year-old son, the American Express card. And basically, which is what triggered everything. For those who watched the first video, I'll make sure I'll put it down in the description, or at the end of this video, it'll be one of those videos to go if you're the first time doing it. But with that American Express, it was American Express cash card, I added my son. So for those of you who don't know, at 13 years old, you can add your kids as an authorized user with any of your American Express cards. I added him, and he had a $200 limit. Once his birthday came, obviously he did spend a lot of that, and we end up noticing maybe a day later that that limit even though he paid the balance off, he didn't have that access to that $200 again. And so when I called them, they told me, obviously with regards to that, if you do use up the limit on authorized user account that you set, because I set a limit on that card for him, it was a $200 balance. Once you do pay it off, it takes, they said, anywhere from 3 to 4 days. They'll update it and he'll have that credit available. So that's a good thing to know with regards to the amount of credit that you give. One of the things I'm gonna do with my son is I'm gonna extend the credit limit. He's getting a little more money, he's a lot more responsible with his cards and the lessons and stuff that I'm teaching him. So I'm gonna increase the limit so we don't have this issue. But if you do run past that limit, typically it'll take you 3 to 4 business days before they give you that available limit again. Which is different from a regular credit card, right? If you spent $1,000 today and then you paid it off tomorrow, typically you'll have that $1,000 that next day. So that's the situation with regards to that. Then I asked about them dropping the limit. So let me explain something. When I asked about the credit card limits being dropped, I didn't call them up. I wasn't all upset and mad and like, hey, you guys dropped my balance. It's $24,000 or even more now. I think probably about $30,000. What the deal is, I want my credit back. What's going on? Nope. I called them up and I said, hey, another thing I wanted to know is I noticed that my credit limits dropped on 2 of my credit cards. And I was wondering why that happened, number one. And number two, what can I do to avoid that from happening again? And so the guy that I talked to, who's very nice, he goes, hey, they ask you, what you want to be called by. And he goes, hey, Jay, this is the situation. When they investigated my accounts, they noticed that I don't use the balance enough on all of the credit cards, right? I have them set up and, on some of them, the balances I do have on the business side, I do use the balances a little bit more than on the personal side. Like I said, with that authorized user account for my son, that account that I have, I actually barely use it. Only when he's spending money on it and so forth, I give him the points and so forth with regards to the account. And so that's the only time that I really use it. And every once in a while, I'll try and charge something on there that I know I can pay back. And then on the American Express Platinum card that I have, probably in the last like 3 or 4 months, outside of like, I did sign up for the Walmart deal that they have where, Walmart charges me, I think like $14 a month, but they credit me back. Outside of that, I don't really use that platinum card as much as I did before. And so they said, the time that I'm utilizing the account is one reason, and then they needed to verify my income, right? So basically I just have to send them a W-2 or a W-9 or tax return or something along those lines, and they'll reinvestigate the situation. And after reinvestigating it, I should get my credit limits back. All right. So that's the cool thing about it. Within the email, obviously at the bottom, when they made an adjustment, it does say if you have an issue, give them a call. A lot of times people don't do that. So I encourage you guys to do that with regards to your accounts in general. So I want to let you guys know it's very important if you do have credit cards and you do get credit limits and they do lower the limits, or if you're applying for a credit card and you get a specific limit and you want a higher limit, it never hurts to call and ask. A lot of times just a simple phone call will get it done. Now in this case, obviously they're wanting to do the investigation. I have to upload the information with regards to my accounts, and I have to give them the proof of my income. And once I give them proof of the income, they said that they're going to investigate it, and it takes 5 to 10 business days. So it could be a little bit of time with regards to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the credit back. I think I should. I don't see why not, because it's not like I'm abusing their credit or anything along those lines. But I wanted to share this with you guys with regards to that. How many of you guys have actually had a credit card where you've lost the credit limit and actually called them up and they gave you a different reason? Now, I know that if you get a charge-off account, if something's added to your collection account, or you end up getting a late payment, a lot of times, once that happens, there's a trigger. And all of your accounts, obviously, if you have available credit, they look at you as risky because they don't want the same thing to happen to them. And I've seen where your credit card balances will drop all the way down with regards to that. But in my case, it wasn't that. I think sometimes using the credit card and making sure you're using it enough would avoid that, as well as with my credit limit. You know, like I stated before, I have a great relationship with this company. I have like over 8 credit cards with them and a business line of credit as well that I have access to. That business line of credit, I still haven't used it because I haven't figured out the best plan with regards to how to utilize that. But it's always good to have that line of credit versus a credit card, because with the business line of credit, it's almost like cash. That they can put into your actual checking account, and then you can use that as cash. A lot of times, as we know with credit, when you're spending at certain things, you can't actually use credit cards. So that's why I have the business line of credit. So that's the situation in a nutshell with them. Obviously, I gotta wait these 10 business days to find out what they're gonna do, if they're gonna give me the limit back or not, or maybe they'll give me a certain portion of that limit or whatnot. But like you said, like I told you guys before, I have over 8 lines here, and almost half of my credit is with them. But I am branching out to some other cards, right? Trying to get into some other families and so forth, and I'll have those videos set up as well. Down below is a 20-minute free consultation. As you can see, I'm pretty transparent with regards to everything that goes on. If I look at your credit and you don't need the help, I'll tell you. Or if it's a small fix, I'm not going to charge you and nickel and dime you for that. But in the event that your credit scores are 4s, 5s, 6s, and you need to get in the 700 club, sign up for that free consultation. Down below as well is a free letter bundle where you'll get a cease and desist letter, a paid to delete letter, as well as a Goodwill letter. That'll help you in your credit journey. Be sure to do that. Don't forget, today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be going live answering questions about credit and debt. And if you have any questions about credit or debt, put them down in the comment section or come to my live video. I'll answer those questions. And as I always state, you be great.